So you cannot tell. First of all, I know I can beat up Rolly. He knows that. He knows that, and it's not a thing of like I'm not. If we just comparing skill, just because somebody is stronger don't mean that they can win in no fight. That's not how it works. This is my thing, and this is why I'm so happy that. So I want you to know something. I've been sparring against boys and men for 20 years. That's 2 decades of boxing. I didn't say I'm gonna go in there and knock Rolly out. I didn't say I can overpower him. I said I can outbox him. I've outboxed plenty of men who are professional boxers inside the ring.
I don't know about you, but 20 million, that seems like a lot of cheddar.
Oh man, I don't hit women. I just don't hit women. It's not even about the money.
Claressa Shields didn't just answer Rolly Romero. She essentially transformed the interview into a masterclass in confidence, sprinkled with a touch of controlled chaos.
My height, my jab, my skills, I can beat Rolly in a boxing match. And that's just what it is.
Oh, you think you can beat Rolly actually in a fight?
A boxing match, absolutely. You were talking about sparring, sure. But even under the rules of, you want to say 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 2 minutes, 10 rounds, whatever you want to call it. Bruh, I had better boxing skills than Rolly.
What size gloves?
What size gloves? Do you not see this face? I don't even get hit. Does it matter? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I fought Frank John and got 1 stitch, and it wasn't from her punch. It was from her thing on her.
Because the moment Rolly dropped the "I don't hit women" line, Claressa shot back with, "Cool, but I'm not asking you to. I'm asking if you can keep up."
Oh, one man can't beat a man. I spar with men. And I mean, I drop men, I bust men nose, I beat men up all the time. That they may be stronger than me, but their boxing abilities isn't like mine. Triple G, he's older now, but I can give.
That's when it flipped. She wasn't talking about power or knockouts. She was talking skill, timing, precision, pure boxing IQ. And she made it crystal clear she's been honing that against men for 20 years straight. That's not a phase, that's a lifestyle. When she says she's outboxed professional male fighters in sparring, she's not laughing about it. She's speaking like someone who was mastering this before some of these guys even figured out their jab.
Always targets me.
I mean, I know you're not the first, because a couple of years back, I know her and Keith Thurman had words flying back and forth.
Yeah, I never understood that one either. But it's still, at the end of it, I don't care. Me and her will never be in the ring. I do not hit women. She's great, but there's male and females.
The funniest part is, she claims she does it respectfully, like she's delivering lessons with proper manners, calling guys out while their families watch, almost like a live demonstration. Meanwhile, Relay's just standing there, firm as ever, saying, "Nope, I'm not doing it for any amount of money." And honestly, you can't even get mad at that, because he's not avoiding skill. He's simply drawing a moral line.
Your boxers are generally going to win against smaller guys. I'm just your thoughts when you saw that clip. What did you think when you saw that?
I believe her. I believe she can beat me. Yeah, she'll knock me out.
I think you're being facetious.
No, I'm here for her. I don't hit women.
That's true. I understand that. No, I'm just. Did you shake your head, or did you say why out of all the names did you pull your name out of the hat?
No.
But Claressa isn't listening to any of that. She's basically saying, "Stop trying to protect me from a fight I volunteered for." And that's what makes this whole moment so spicy. It's not your typical trash talk. It's 2 completely different energies colliding. One saying, "I can outbox you," and the other saying, "I won't even entertain it." And honestly, somewhere in the middle of all that, the fans are left looking like, wait, hold on. Who actually wins that chess match if it goes down?
So, the only thing...
Rolly catches more strays on this show. It's
First of all, I love Rolly. He's a good dude, but when it comes to skill in boxing, he's not skilled. I'm not saying I'll get in the ring and I'll knock Rolly out. But what I will say is, with my boxing pedigree, with my height, my jab, my skill.
And just when the Shields versus Relay debate is already heating up, with 2 completely different mindsets clashing, Shakur Stevenson steps in like, hold on, let me stir this pot properly. Suddenly, the conversation shifts from spicy to full-on philosophical, boxing gloves included.
You think she could beat any man champion?
My opinion is girls, boys is boys.
Right.
A girl is gonna be a girl. I don't think a girl can beat a man. That's the same thing like you ask basketball players.
Yeah.
Like, can a female basketball player beat a...
Shakur is basically walking a tightrope between respect and reality, because you can hear it. He's giving Claressa her flowers, calling her the best female fighter on the planet. No debate, no hesitation. But then he pauses and adds, yeah, but men are men, women are women. And that's where it gets interesting. While Claressa talks skill supremacy, Shakur is focused on physical dynamics. Now you've got two truths colliding in real time. But then he flips it again, and this is where it gets wild. He says if Claressa were a man, she'd be Floyd Mayweather. And that's not a compliment. It's a nuclear level take.
She's like that,
No,
though.
she like that, but she ain't.
If she was a boy, bro, that's what I was
What
trying
you
to
mean
tell
if
you.
she was a boy?
If she was a boy. If she was a boy, she'd be Floyd Mayweather. Hello.
I don't know.
If she
That's
was
already
a
no,
boy,
you can't do that.
she will be Floyd Mayweather. How can she not,
Can't,
bro?
no, but I'm saying you can't do that. If she was a boy, she might be playing soccer. We don't know what. You don't know what.
That's a great...
I'm sitting here like, wait, you just turned her into an all-time great in a hypothetical scenario and still said she couldn't beat a male champion right now. That's like praising someone and doubting them in the same breath. Somehow it still makes sense. Then he doubles down, talking about her Olympic pedigree, her dominance, saying nobody touches her in women's boxing. And honestly, that part is just facts. But the tension never leaves, because every time he builds her up, he pulls it back to reality. It's like watching someone give a standing ovation while still questioning the matchup. And that's what makes this whole debate so addictive. Nobody's really wrong. They're just looking at the same fighter through completely different lenses. One sees pure skill, the other sees physical boundaries. And somehow, both arguments keep landing clean.
Ashy, and she's the best fighter in the world, bro. There's nobody better than Claressa as a woman, bro. I don't give who you name. Nobody is coming close to her.
Yeah,
Two Olympic gold medals, bro. So if that's the case, if this girl was a man,
if she was a man,
bro, you know how much support.
Just when shockers over there balancing respect with reality like a tightrope act, Sean Porter steps in with that calm, composed delivery that somehow hits even harder, because he's not trying to be loud about it. Porter basically looks at the situation and says, yeah, it's impressive, but let's not get carried away. You can feel the difference immediately. He gives Claressa her full respect, no hesitation, calling her accomplishments remarkable. But then he starts peeling back the layers, and this is where it gets real technical. When Porter talks about a strength and power gap, he's not guessing. He's speaking from experience, from rounds in the trenches, from feeling what elite-level pressure looks like when it comes at you with bad intentions. And I like how he acknowledges her point too. Movement, traps, sticking and moving, all of that matters.
There's a lot that goes into it. And it's one of those things that, you know, things are easier said than done.
So that brings me to my next question, because I asked her, I was like, look, I go, there's an obvious power and strength differential. Like she is dominant, you know, in the women's division, but the strength and the power between the top women and the top men is a big deal. She said she's not worried about the strength and power because she said it's about movement, it's about setting traps, it's about sticking and moving.
Then he quietly flips it and says, yeah, but the guys she's been sparring, they're not trying to take her head off. That's a different environment. It's like sparring with the volume turned down and then stepping into a fight where everything is maxed out. And when he adds, put her in with a man at her level and weight, now we're talking about a completely different animal. That's not disrespect. That's reality check number 2. Then he shuts the door completely, saying he wouldn't even consider an exhibition, not because he's ducking anything, but because he feels there's nothing to prove on his side. And that line right there, that's the quiet knockout. Now the conversation isn't about skill anymore. It's about purpose. Claressa is chasing a statement. Porter is protecting a boundary. And somewhere in between, we're left asking the same question again. Is this about proving greatness or proving a point that doesn't need proving?
In men's professional boxing, it's just a different animal.
Gotta ask, would you ever consider doing like a 3-round exhibition with the Claressa Shields, or is that something you would never even consider?
honestly, I wouldn't consider that. I don't think that I don't have anything to prove. I think if she's got something to prove, she's got something else to prove against someone else. And let me reel it all the way back in again and say it again.
And just when Porter calmly shuts the door with that nothing to prove energy, Keith Thurman walks in like the veteran who's seen it all and decides to both entertain it and dismiss it at the same time, which, honestly, is a skill in itself. Thurman's not yelling. He's not emotional. He's almost amused, like he's watching the whole thing play out from a distance. He gives Claressa respect, sure, but then leans into that experience bag and starts poking holes in the narrative, saying, "Look, she's been saying this for years and nobody cared until now." That's a subtle jab, questioning timing more than the claim itself. Then he shifts into that if the people wanted mode, talking exhibitions, charity matches, jab only, bigger gloves, headgear, basically turning a potential fight into a controlled science experiment.
However she feels about Thurman, however she feels about this men versus women battle of the sexes event that she wants to do for whatever reason, she picked one of the hottest boxing nights of the year.
I'm sitting here like Thurman just turned a call out into a sparring session with rules written in pencil. Then comes the real shift when he starts talking about differences, rounds, intensity, level of opposition. You can hear the skepticism creeping in. He's not buying the idea that sparring equals fighting. And honestly, that's a conversation boxing has been having forever. But the funniest part? When he describes that sparring clip and casually says the guy ate the punch like breakfast cereal. I almost lost it. Thurman is respectfully saying, "That didn't move me." Yet at the same time, he leaves the door cracked open just enough, saying if the fans push it and it serves a purpose, like charity maybe. Now we've got another layer, Claressa chasing validation, Porter stepping away, and Thurman halfway in, halfway out like, "I'll play along, but on my terms."
And she puts this video of her sparring some kids that look like they just walked into my boxing club. They look like the softest amateurs I've ever seen. And she hits this boy with an overhand right. She's in the corner. She hits him with the overhand right. Boom! He eats that, man.
So when you step back and look at this whole situation, it's not even just about Claressa Shields versus Rolly Romero anymore. It's become a full-on clash of philosophies inside boxing. On one side, you've got Claressa standing on skill, experience, and pure confidence, basically saying boxing is boxing. And if you got the IQ, the timing, and the discipline, you can compete with anybody. That on the other side, you've got voices like Shakur, Porter, and Thurman, all coming from different angles, but landing on the same underlying point. There are levels to this game that go beyond just technique. Shakur respects the greatness, but questions the reality. Porter breaks it down from a physical standpoint. Thurman floats in that middle space, half entertained, half unconvinced. And that's what makes this whole debate so addictive. Nobody is fully shutting it down, but nobody is fully buying in either. It's like a fight that exists purely in conversations, and somehow, it's still got everybody picking sides.
Generation, I don't know what we're supposed to do, so I'm not going to say that she hits like a girl. Let's just say that she hits.
Now I want to hear from you. Are you riding with Claressa on the skill argument? Or do you think the physical gap makes this a no-go from the start? And out of all the takes, Shakur, Porter, or Thurman, who made the strongest case in your opinion? Drop your take in the comments. Let's really debate this. And yo, don't ever forget to like,